the manufacturers sold their paint supplies to the distributors. The distributors sold it to the dealers. The dealers would sell it to the customers. Imagine your supplier, your paint supplier, shows up at your shop not once, but 3 to 4 times in a day. How would you have felt? That is exactly what over 70,000 dealerships gets from Asian Paints on a regular basis. Not only one day, every day, for over 5 decades now. And this small operational shift makes Asian Paints the undisputed leader in the paint industry. In 1870, Asian Paints came up with an interesting plan. But before we get into the plan, this is how the markets did at that point of time, which is the manufacturers sold their paint supplies to the distributors. The distributors sold it to the dealers. The dealers would sell it to the customers. If you are lucky as a manufacturer, you would have made at the most 75% of the selling price. But here is what Asian Paints came up with in the 1970, which is, they said we would come out of the middleman and will show up at the dealer's place every single day. Now that was interesting and revolutionary in its own terms. However, they faced a problem. The dealers did not have huge areas like a distributor would have. Hence, the stocks was a problem. So what they did, or what they had to do, was visit the dealers 3 to 4 times every single day. And then they did it. How they benefited was very interesting. Their margins improved by 5%. Coming to that a little later, but which also meant that they had less credit period and the bloated margins evaporated. In fact, their operation excellence, while the other dealers or the other manufacturers had to shell out around 30 to 40% in logistics, they achieved it in 3%. While their margins improved by 5%, for a revenue of 25,000 crores, that made, or that meant, 5,000 in direct cost saving. How did the dealers benefit? The dealers did not have to wait or rely on the distributors who might fail. The dealers now knew, almost like a clockwork, that Asian Paints would directly show up to them 3 to 4 times in a day. So less stockpile, less cash on hold, and direct to the market. But there is something even more interesting. In 1970, Asian Paints bought the first supercomputer in India. Just to give you a perspective, 10 years before ISRO did, or 10 years before IIT Powai did. This was done so that Asian Paints knew exactly which dealer needed which paint in which color and in what quantity. That was operational excellence for you. So Asian Paints has the largest dealership network in India right now, which is more than 70,000. It's approximately twice that of their nearest competitor. Not a matter of joke. But this was not done just by their brand or just by the product alone. It was done by an operational commitment that surpassed every other competitors. This was a small shift, big impact, Gestalt original. The shift: show up at the dealer's place 3 to 4 times every single day. The shift, 55 plus years of market dominance and a 2 lakh crore market capitalization. We'll surely see you next time. Thank you.